welcome to Brewskis and House Keys. I am Nicole Kostelecki, and we are here with ReMax Alliance in Old Town, Arvada. And today we have a special guest, Andrea. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
All right. Well, I'm Andrea Kvamme, Land Title Guarantee Company, and I'm honored to be here. Excited to talk about title. We're going to try to make it exciting. That's why we're drinking with it, because I think that'll make title more exciting.
Yes.
So Land Title has been in business since 1967, and we are the largest title company in Colorado. So people usually think, we're so big here in Colorado. We're this big national title company, but we're not. We're local, just here in Colorado. So I've been here 17, almost 18 years, and I love it because I just get to meet real estate agents like you and develop relationships, and in turn, hopefully you trust us with your consumers to insure their properties.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Andrea's actually, their office is in one of our other ReMax offices. So we get to see her a lot.
Yes. So fun.
Fun.
Makes it fun. Yeah.
Yeah. We see her at golf tournaments and all the places.
Yeah. So I'm in sales. So I get to do all the fun things.
Yes.
So I get to take part in the golf tournaments, the charity events, the brokerage events. I get to go out to coffee and lunches and games and dinners and get to meet
Ciders.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a dream.
So so I get the fun part of the job, and then we have a whole crew behind us that gets to do the technical title piece of things.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. I love that. Speaking of fun things, are you enjoying that fall weather and Halloween coming up?
Yes, it's freezing outside.
It is. I know.
It looks like it's 80, and then you walk outside and you're frozen. I think this weekend it just turned on a dime. It was at the Bronco game yesterday. I was at the Bronco game.
I was too.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was at the Bronco game. It was third period, and we're like, let's get out of here. It said 80% chance of rain. I'm like, it was just 80 degrees. Now it's 80% chance of snow or rain. So the game wasn't that great either. So I thought, let's go ahead and leave. So it got
exciting at the end because we had a chance, 2 chances, and then we did not.
We always have chances, and we just seem to let them go.
Yep. Bye-bye. I know. I was telling you that I got sunburnt on Saturday because I had a volleyball tournament, and then cold the next day. So
it's Colorado for you.
It is.
Yep.
So we are actually doing something a little different today. Instead of beers, we are drinking ciders because Andrea doesn't really like beer, but that's okay.
Never been a big beer drinker, but Nicole talked me into trying, hey, what do you think about ciders? Tell me more.
Yeah. And this place is awesome. So it's called Waldschanke Ciders. They're over in Sunnyside off like 41st and Jason Street in Denver. They are awesome. I love this place. And I like ciders. I like beer too, obviously. But I like these ciders because they're not super duper sweet. Mm-hmm. So it's a Swiss style, and they basically make them unfiltered. So I think that's what makes it Swiss style. But what kind are you drinking?
All I know is it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was going to like it. I'm like, well, I'll play along. It's not tequila, but I'll drink this, and it's so good. I have a Mangolorian Waldschanke Cider, and it is good.
Can you taste the mango?
I could taste the mango for sure. To me,
but it's not artificial flavor, right? It's like good mango.
It really tastes like but then it's not too sweet, so it's very good. And the cans are very cool.
It's cool. I know. I like.
Sometimes I pick out wine and stuff.
I only pick out wine by the. That is me too. That's the only thing I do.
It's a little embarrassing to say. I'm like, well, that looks good.
No, it's not.
You judge a wine by its cover.
Yeah, we do.
We do. And now I'm going to judge a cider. No, I'm going to trust this one. I really like the Mangolorian.
Yes. And I'm drinking the Base Camp, which it says it's off dry. So it's just the crisp apple flavored. But I think this was actually like one of the first ones that they started making. So my friend started it with his dad. And he used to work over at New Terrain. And then he decided to branch off and make ciders.
Good for him. Yeah. And a local company.
Yeah.
Like Land Title. And ReMax Alliance.
Exactly. I love it. Oh, awesome. So we are going to get into title and kind of talk about that and for our listeners to better understand it. So I guess we'll start with the basics. So Andrea, what is title and why is it important in a real estate transaction?
Okay. All right. So title, most consumers don't even realize they have title insurance.
Right.
They do remember that after they spend all the time with the realtor and they find their dream home, that they go to this place in this room and they sign documents for hours. And that's it.
It's true.
Well, that place you went to is a title company. Hopefully it's one of Land Title's offices. And you're signing the documents, obviously, to convey the property from the seller to the buyer. But what ultimately we're doing is offering you or providing you title insurance. Mm-hmm. And title insurance, I always explain, is different than other insurance that we purchase, like health insurance, car insurance. Those are like premiums every month for years, and it kind of protects the future. Title insurance is totally different than that. It's a one-time premium, and this is it's insurance that protects your ownership against claims against your property. But it's a one-time premium, and we're looking at the past of the property. Yes, we provide future insurance too, but we're searching the property going into the past and making sure there are no judgments or liens, and that you're able to convey clean, clear title to the new buyer. So it's a little bit, it's
different. Yeah,
it's different, but it's still insurance. We're still protecting your interest. So yeah, so we provide ultimately in the very end a title insurance policy to the new owner to insure against any property claims.
Very neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what are some of the normal items that come up when you do run a title search? So typically in the transaction, that's part of one of the due diligence items for a buyer is to look at title and be able to kind of look at a title search. So what are some of those items that pop up?
So typically once you go under contract, we're going to send out a title commitment to all parties in the transaction. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be looking at a section really called the requirements. And these are things that are required to take place that we need to clear before the buyer can own the property. We say free and clear. Right. So what you'll see is if there's a loan against the property, they're usually in first lien position. So that bank has first lien position. So we're going to have to make sure we pay off that mortgage. Mm-hmm. There could be a HELOC. Yeah. Those are the very normal things that you're going to see show up. Also in the requirements, they're going to make sure that we as the title company record a new deed conveying the property to the new buyer. Those are all normal things you'll see.
Okay. So that makes sense. And then that's also good for the seller to see what's on it too. Yeah. And that brings us into our next question. So what are maybe some red flags that come up on a title search that could cause any problems for a seller?
Okay. Sure, there are various things that could come up. And although they may feel like problems, we're going to get through them. But things that could come up are HOA liens. Maybe they have some past HOA dues that they haven't paid, or federal IRS tax liens, lis pendens. So that's maybe a judgment against the property that we need to pay off at closing. And that's where we'll spring into action as the title company and say, hey, Mr. Seller, we have these things we need to take care of before or at closing. And we'll go in and we'll start communicating, we'll order payoffs, and we'll walk your client, the seller or the consumer, through the process of kind of removing these requirements so we can convey the property.
Okay. So. Just curious. So does a lot of times that happen at closing, like once they get the proceeds and they just pay them off?
A lot of things can be taken care of right at closing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not, yes, you need to be aware and we need to jump on it. And the biggest problem is we might need more time. Right. So if it's a federal IRS tax lien, taxes they haven't paid, working with the IRS it might take a little longer. Yeah, okay. So we might have to amend a contract. So I have an example in the past few months. Somebody had like $500,000 of unpaid taxes, and the agent, the agent wasn't aware until title came out. So sometimes people I don't want to say people are dishonest. Maybe they forget. Maybe they don't realize how much trouble they're in. But it took a lot of time for them to come up with the cash to pay off this tax lien. And luckily the buyer hung on and we got to the closing table, but it took several months.
I was going to ask. Okay.
Yeah. That's extreme.
That it is. Yes.
That's extreme.
Yes.
But this is a good point. So just to have a heads up, most real estate agents like you and Nick are educated enough to order an O&E, an ownership and encumbrance report. And that is just a quick glance at anything recorded with the county. So you have a heads up like, oh, hey, they have some tax liens or whatever it may be. They have this judgment against them that we need to get cleared up before we list the property. But if it comes up and we're already under contract with the buyer, we'll try to move as quickly with your clients through the process to get all of this cleared up so that the requirements are taken care of.
Yeah, and those O&E, I mean, getting that policy and getting that delivered, it usually takes like, a day or two?
Yeah.
It's very quick.
Yep.
So
That's super simple. Yeah. So if you're going into a listing appointment, always
just get one.
Snag one of those and have a heads up on who you're talking to and anything you may need to address right away.
That's a very good point. Love that. Okay. So typically in a real estate transaction, so there are fees related to title. What are those fees and who typically pays them?
Yep. So like we said, title insurance is a one-time premium paid at closing. So the owner's policy, you pay to the seller, or the seller typically pays it.
Yes.
It's kind of backwards. It's weird. The seller pays for the owner's title policy, but the title policy is for the buyer. But that
it
is
kind of makes
traditionally
sense too, though, because it goes backwards, right? It's when the seller owns it.
Yeah, so they're like, here, I'm showing you that, there's nothing against this property. I'm able to convey it to you appropriately. But yes, the seller traditionally pays for the owner's title policy. And that's all how the real estate agent writes the contract. But more times than not, the seller pays for the owner's title policy. We have a closing fee at Land Title. Ours is $380, and it's split 50-50. That's for us to do our job and carry out our services. Split 50-50 between the buyer and the seller. Then there's a lender's policy if there's going to be a loan on the property, and the buyer pays for that. And then there are fees that, the county charges for us to order the tax certificate, to order taxes and to see what's owed. And that's $25.
Right.
Another fee
is like water escrow and sewer escrow.
So,
that you hold on to.
Good point. So water and sewer, we will collect money and $500. And people are like, $500 for my water and sewer bill? I've never had that high of a bill. Well, we don't know. I mean, you have a hot tub or a swimming pool or a leak in the sprinkling system. So we're going to over collect from the seller and then cut a check back after closing to pay off that water bill. And the reason why we pay off that utility is it's the only one that can create a lien against the property. If there's a lien against the property, we can't convey it. So it's the only utility that can create a lien against the property. So we're going to make sure that's paid off. Perfect. Everything else you guys take care of outside of closing, cable, electric.
Yes. So I had to laugh when you said the water bill because we had an agent in our office who is from Texas and wasn't used to sprinkler system bills. I should say water bills during the summer. And he thought it was wrong. And I was like, nope, that's typically what it is.
That's what we do here.
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny. But yeah, that's all very, very good information. And I know, like we were saying, typically the title insurance policy is paid for by the seller. And that's usually, that varies based on the price of the house, typically, how much that is.
So insurance, it depends on the value of the home, and it depends on the location and county. So we have a nice little calculator system that you guys use that calculates how much the owner's policy, lender's policy, what that will be. Yeah. And interestingly enough, if you have purchased or refinanced your home in the past 5 years, you can qualify for a reissue rate, and that's a lower rate because our title department is searching and examining properties. So if it's been searched more recently, then it's an easier job for us, basically. So
that's good to know.
They give you a little bit of a lower rate. So we're always able to check that for you. Most people have refinanced, right, in the past 5 years because rates were. Let's not talk about it.
No.
We won't talk about rates right now. But a lot of people have refinanced in the last 5 years, so their owner's title policy is not going to be the full-blown amount at Land Title. So.
Well, and there's also like now I can't remember the name of it. What is it when you get a title policy if you're planning to sell it really, kind of fast? You get it.
Oh, a hold open?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's those too. If you're doing like a fix and flip or something, You can get a hold open title policy, and then it just rolls over. It's a lot less.
Yep. Yeah. Investors or whatever, they're going to purchase a property and turn around and sell it. I think it's within 2 years.
Yes.
Then they just pay the difference in the value of the home towards the title policy. So we'll calculate that for you too, but it's great cost savings if you know that's your intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So besides providing the title commitment, what are some of the other important roles of a title company in the real estate transaction?
We talked a little bit about it, but we do so much. So we're going to order. Yeah. So we're going to order the water bill. We're going to order the taxer and see what's owed for the taxes and make sure they're current. We're going to order HOA docs if there's an HOA. And that's something that traditionally the seller has to provide to the buyer. But we'll do that for you. So it's a lot of headache taken off your plate.
Yeah.
I think it's 30 different documents from the HOA company you have to deliver to the buyer. So most sellers are like, nope, just let the title company do that for us. The O&Es will do a little research before, and then we could talk about it later, but I know we have tons of marketing we do for realtors as well. But yeah, so there are a lot of different services. Sometimes people just need a quick look, and so we'll just pull up the last vesting deed for you to see how that's written. Some people have questions on how title's held. Is it joint tenants or tenants in common? So a lot of just call us. We do lots of other things besides title insurance and closings. We try to help however we can with our resources.
Well, and also another important thing you guys do is like hold on to our earnest money for our buyers. Good point.
Yeah. Yep. So that's not in every state. So
that's
when you go under contract and you're a buyer, your agent's going to tell you, okay, write this big check and bring it to the title company.
Yes.
And that's called your earnest money.
Right.
With COVID, kind of forced this to happen a little bit sooner, which I'm very excited about. But there is a third-party resource out there called Earnest.com. So,
I didn't even know that.
So
cool.
We're talking. Yeah. So you can send your money electronically. It's just an ACH transfer to Land Title. I think they charge $15.
Okay.
But so if you don't want to leave your home and you're just comfy cozy drinking your ciders, you can just pull up the Earnest.com app and shoot your earnest money over to the title company. And then we joke that, I mean, I guess we're old. I'm old now, but I have a checkbook. But some people don't have checkbooks.
I have one.
You do?
I still have one. Okay. I'm very much against.
Are you a millennial? Yes.
Oh, well, 1990. So I think I'm considered a millennial. But it's funny because Nick was asking me about like some app to do money. I know Venmo. I know that one, but any of the other ones, like I will refuse to get them.
They're good.
I still write checks.
I like it. You're an old soul with your checkbook.
So. I know.
But really, I mean, you have to think, how can you adapt to everybody? So even closings. I mean, we didn't really talk about we were going to talk about it, but with COVID, they passed the RON bill, which is remote online notary. So you know how I said you come into the office and you sign all these documents at a table? We don't want it to happen always, but you don't have to.
Right.
We have e-notaries now. So you could do everything from the comfort of your couch. I don't like it.
Or if
like
you're
face-to-face,
moving, face-to-face is better. But if you are moving in a different state and you do need a mail out, that is good to know that you can get that.
Yep. Convenience. So, everything electronically, virtually. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess.
I'm still the checkbook lady. I don't care.
I love it. Oh, but we've had people come into the office to drop off earnest money.
Yeah.
And Lauren, one of our agents here, actually in Old Town, or one of our closing agents, like, I had to show this guy how to write his check. He was like, "Can you show me how to do this again?" And I had to show him like literally how to write a check because
he didn't
not
know.
Very common anymore. So we'll even teach you at Land Title how to write a check.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
They used to teach that in school.
They did in middle school. So I did learn that.
And balance a checkbook.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, cursive is gone and balancing a checkbook's gone. What does the world come to, right?
Do they not teach that anymore?
Cursive.
Well,
they replaced cursive with typing class.
Right.
No.
Oh.
I actually was trying to do a cursive G the other day. I don't know why, like a capital one, and I don't remember how to do it.
I challenge you to do a G or a cursive S.
G.
Try S.
Oh, I think I did the G.
Oh, that's good.
That was
okay,
good.
let's see a cursive.
That was good.
You are an old soul. Look at you, cursive and checkbooks.
Yeah. Well, they did teach me that, so that's good. Oh, too funny.
We do lots of things, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So you hold on to the earnest money, and then you hold on to that through the transaction. And then when it comes to kind of the end of the transaction, when the buyer is, going to pay the rest of the funds towards the house, and I mean, they have their mortgage as well. So they pay that. The mortgage company helps with that portion, and then the buyer will pay their down payment, basically. And sometimes that's a big amount, and either they can wire it into you guys, right? Or they can do a cashier's check.
Yeah. We call it good funds.
Yes, good funds.
I don't know why, but they're good funds. So it's a cashier's check or a wire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's only no cash.
No cash.
No suitcases full of cash.
Really? You don't want to
wire. I know, right?
That could be a lot. You'd have to check every bill. So,
but
yes.
take us a lot.
That would be
authenticity.
Yeah, that would be bad. What about like gold bars?
Ooh. I think we would take those. We have to weigh it on a scale.
Don't chuck a pennies.
Oh my God.
There are a lot of people, that's the only way they have money. They're like, what? Nope. I keep all my money under my mattress.
Yeah, I know. I believe that though. There are some people like that. But for like the wires, have you, we've seen an uptick of some scams, and just kind of curious, what are some of the ways Land Title is helping to prevent their clients from falling victim to one of those?
Yes. Okay. So wire fraud, it's been prevalent for a while now.
Yeah.
So we call right away when you guys go under contract and we receive the real estate contract, we're going to call and just alarm them of wire fraud. Right. Hey, this is prevalent. You're not going to get wiring instructions from your realtor. We're going to have them verify before they hit send or they walk into the bank to wire. The single most important thing you can do to prevent wire fraud, which means wiring to the wrong account.
Right.
Is pick up the phone when you're standing in the bank lobby or with the gal at the bank or the gentleman, or before you hit send, pick up the phone, call Land Title.
Yes.
Any phone number on that title commitment you can call, but we'll be communicating with you. So you'll have all of our contact information, but call us and say, hey, I'm getting ready to send my wire. I want to verify my wiring instructions. Right. And anybody who answers that phone can verify them for you. And you're calling Land Title. So...
I don't want to use the number from the suspect email.
Right.
It has to. Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I always give my clients, my buyers, the phone number for Land Title. I said, this is who you call.
Yep.
So I give it to them because that way.
That's a great best practice. Yeah. So when we do the initial wire fraud call, we verify that they have our contact information, yada, yada. So call us when you're before you hit send, if that's what they're comfortable with. A lot of people don't. I mean, but all we can do is offer that advice.
Sure.
I know it is scary,
please
but what has happened is, and this isn't every case, but this is just one example.
Yeah.
These fraudsters are so brilliant. They're hacking into, your email address, the realtor's email, and they'll set up like just one digit off of your email address. They'll copy our footer at the title company. They'll include everybody on the email with just one digit skewed off from the email address. And then they'll send it to the party that's going to be wiring the funds. And they'll say, oh, hey, I know we're closing tomorrow. Make sure you get in today. We really need you to wire today. Yeah. And here the wiring instructions are attached. But just never trust that. We're never going to email you the wiring instructions. Like, just don't trust that. Right. So... And that's the thing is just if it feels fishy or something feels, just pick up the phone, call your realtor and just say, hey, did you just send me an email with wiring instructions? Right. Or it's just, if it feels, just trust your gut and always call the title company. If you're
going to wire any money, just call someone first.
And don't,
and by someone, I mean Land Title.
The title company.
The title company. Yep. Yes.
Yep. And most good realtors, like everybody here at ReMax Alliance, knows to say, I will not be sending you wiring instructions ever.
Right.
I don't want to touch your money. I want nothing to do with your money. I'm not going to advise you on how to send it. Only trust the title company. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Now, there's another thing called seller fraud. People are presenting themselves as fraudulent sellers, mostly on vacant land.
Yes.
Typically owned free and clear. I won't get into all the details. There's something else called invoice fraud, which just came up in the last month, where they hack into email accounts again. I mean, they're so smart. It gets close to closing and they're like, hey, here's an invoice I need you to include at closing to be paid to this roofer for $7,000. Well, they're sending it to us and they're pretending to be, the realtor. And we put it on the settlement statement. And luckily you choose a very intelligent realtor who reads the settlement statements with you beforehand, but some don't. They just sign off on the settlement statement. And this invoice came through. We as the title company put it on the settlement statement. Oh yeah. And approve it. And then we pay, we cut a check. And this only happened once, but what tipped us off is they were asking us to Venmo them the money, and that tipped us off as the title company. But that's another avenue they're going.
Interesting.
So we just need to question, and work as a team.
And just be diligent about looking at everything.
Yep.
With your sellers or with your buyers.
Question everything. Yeah. So
what's that?
It's crazy. It's a crazy world.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me and joining us today.
This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
One last plug.
Yes, plug it in.
Land title. This month, if you make it to our closing table, we are donating a portion of the proceeds to the C.U. Johnson Depression Center. So again, we're a local title company. We support local charities, and it's near and dear to probably all of our hearts, especially right now. Yeah. But buy a home in the next week, because we only have a week left of October. Get to the closing table with Nicole or Nick or anybody here at ReMax Alliance, and we'll donate money to this charity. C.U. Johnson Depression Center.
Okay. Do you do that every year?
We do one charity a year.
Okay.
Yep. And so it's I don't know.
I think that's awesome.
It's awesome. How can we, contribute
make the
to
world
our
a better
local
place?
Yep.
It's good.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, Andrea. Thank you to Waldschanke Ciders for some delicious beverages. And if you like anything that you have heard today, please subscribe to our episodes on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We have our website as well and Apple Podcasts. So as always, go ahead and leave us some feedback and give us some listens. So, cheers, Andrea.
Cheers.
Thanks.